Alright guys, we are here, and this module 4 lesson 3 is going to be about false lows, basically lows in general. you know this is something I've never had to deal with, and all of a sudden I got my life together, got my life in order, and guess what? I've dealt with it. I think I was probably a week in when I got my first low reading on my monitor. 2 o'clock in the morning, hear my machine beeping, my phone's beeping, I grab it, and it's telling me glucose going low, and I'm like freaking out, man. I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? I'm running around trying to grab my kit, trying to grab my my finger reader and everything, do a finger stick. I'm freaked out. It's telling me 69, 65, it's 59, it's low. And I go look on my finger prick and it says I'm at like 90. I'm like, what in the shit? That's not low. That's normal. That's not low. So there's a couple things you need to watch out for. Now with the CGM, you always got to watch out for when you're sleeping. If you lay on your arm and put pressure onto that arm that you have the sensor in, you can get what's called a compression low. So that will make your phone alarm. And what I'd say is, if you know you're sleeping on that arm and all of a sudden you have a low, I'd get up, move it around a bit, just wait 5-10 minutes. It should start coming back up on its own. If there's any worry, or the biggest point is, if you feel bad, if you feel like it might be low, don't even wait. Just prick your finger, get the answer right away. Now, besides compression lows, like I said, sometimes some of these sensors have been recalled. I had one sensor, it alarmed out like 5 times in one night, middle of the night, waking me up every half hour. So I contacted the maker, Abbott, of the Freestyle Libre, and they sent me another sensor and a box to send the old sensor back in so they could test it. So, anytime you get a low, the best thing to do is check your blood sugar and just make sure it's not a low. Another thing I recommend, when you go out anywhere, or if you're going somewhere overnight, like even when I go to work, I always have a little bag. You always have something to carry your stuff in, right? Book bag, maybe you carry medicine in it, or I always have bone broth in there. I usually have a protein shake in there, but what I also always take is all my finger pricking supplies. So my machine, my lances, and the expensive little buggers, the readers. So I always take those with me. And I also bought, and this is crazy because literally I've lived my whole life running a sugar of around 300, 350 normally. So it was against everything I had in me to go buy some glucose tablets. But the first time I had a couple of those fake lows, or actually, like yesterday I had a low go down to like 79, I think it was. That's not really a low, but for me it's a low, So I got glucose tablets, I carry them with me. A lot of people say, you can drink juice or just something to get your sugar back up until you can eat something in it that will raise and maintain your sugar level. That's for an emergency, But I carry glucose tabs with me. It ain't gonna hurt you. I've never had to use them. It only cost, a couple bucks. So if I ever have to use one, then I will. But until then, I'd rather do that than, you know, oh, here's a chance to drink a Dr. Pepper. That's not what we're trying to do here. We're not praying for false lows so we can have a soda. Come on, guys. But yeah, that's it. Just know before it hits. Know what the lows look like. Don't panic. Be calm. Finger prick. And most times I found that it was a false low. Nothing I had to worry about. But if it was that one time that wasn't a false low, I was ready to handle the situation if I needed to. Because we'll be honest, we've all had our sugar go too high before. And, you know, sometimes it makes you tired. And like I said, it was normal for me. So high for me, like literally when I was in the hospital 8 weeks ago, the doctor looked at me and said, do you know your sugar is 500? And I said, no, I don't know that. I do now because you told me. He said, you don't feel bad. I didn't. I felt normal. But you see, here's what I didn't realize. Normal was bad. Yeah, how I felt then is horrible compared to how I feel now. With my sugar running the way it's supposed to be. Not taking insulin. I'm taking the Mounjaro, get my A1C down, which that happened. And I've totally changed my diet. No carbs. Here I have a coffee right here. Am I using creamer? Yeah, I'm using creamer. I'm using zero sugar French vanilla. Tastes great. So just always be on the lookout for the lows and know how to handle them before it occurs in real life and put you into a panic, you know. And as always, I just want to throw this out there to you guys. As always, this is not medical advice. Before you take anything or add anything or change anything, please always talk to your doctor first. That's the only smart way to go about this, you know. I have a great relationship with my doctor, and they are so happy. I have literally turned it around. And now, instead of telling me what to do, you know, and seeing that I'm committed to this, my doctor has given me a say in my treatment, which is a great feeling. So, thank you guys for checking this out, and I'll see you in the next module.